Hey everyone, it's Afrothoz here, and today we're playing some sealed Ravnica Legions over an MTG arena. So yeah, let's go for it. Right, so we open our 6 packs, and I think it shows us our rares. So we've got Taser Karlov, we've got a Gutter Bones, we've got a Breeding Pool, an Amplifier. That's such a weird card, I can't decide. Warrant Warden, and Zeniga Utopian Picker. So he's got two of the guild's not leaders, but like heroes. I can't remember what they're called. Anyway, let's have a look at the packs. Let's have a look at the rest of the cards. Sorry. Oh, why is it doing this way? Let's start by doing. Well, we'll go back to rares again. We didn't get any mythics, did we? So we've got like a breeding pool. Then I go. Oh god. Yeah, that's gonna do that now, isn't it? It's fine. Like to place it there, please. You know what? Let's not do that for now. So, I mean, as I said, that's the rare. So let's have a look at some uncommons. I think that's probably a good idea, isn't it? Have a look at some uncommons. So we've got 2 white uncommons, a blue uncommon, a couple of red ones. I actually like Daggercaster. That Flames of the Razebow can be quite good, actually. Rumbling Ruin there as well. Got 1 green, uncommon. We've got Dovin's Acuity, which is quite nice. It's sort of like a nicer disinformation campaign. Basilica Bellhaunt, which is not a bad card. It's one of the hard to cast in the Orzhov colours, but it's a 3/4, which when it comes down, your opponent discards a card and you gain 3 life. So it's suited card advantage in that regard. We've also got Carnival Carnage, which is a pretty powerful card. On the one side, for a single mana, you deal damage to target player or planeswalker and a damage to that opponent's creature or planeswalker and 1 damage to that permanent's controller, which is alright. It will kill a few things. There's a couple of 1/1s and there's the odd thing with 1 toughness as well. It's also got Carnage on the other side, which is deal 3 damage to a target opponent, and then they discard 2 cards. So basically, Mind Rot plus a Lightning Bolt. Sorcery Speed, which is pretty reasonable. And then we've got Fireblade Artist, which is really nice. I've actually got 2 of these as well. Actually, did I look at... Yeah, they were all ones. I've actually 2 Rumbling Ruins, but that's not important. Got 2 Fireblade Artists, and this is a pretty cool card. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may sacrifice a creature. When you do, Fireblade Artist deals 2 damage to target opponent or planeswalker. So if you're in quite an and also has haste, if you're in quite an aggressive deck and you get to a point where you just need to put a little bit more damage, that's when things like Carnival, Fireblade Artist to sacrifice your creatures, really. That's when you can really shine and just really close it out. And then we get a Gate Colossus, so it's probably a good idea to have a look at the Gate card. And there's also the Scrying Shield. I don't really want to try to build a mill deck, so not for me. So that's our uncommons, and so let's have a look at some commons then. So we've got things like Arrest Zeal, which is a fine enough card. Gives your creature +2/+2 as a nice combat trick. If you do it in your main phase, you can also give one of your big creatures flying, which is a nice way to finish the game as well. You've got Concordia Pegasus, a 1/3 flyer for 2, is pretty fine. As I said, there's a lot of things that have like 1 toughness. A lot of the 1/1 flyers from things and 1/1 humans and stuff. This blocks them quite well and can just attack in the air probably at the start and then just be a wall after that. Got Impassioned Orator, which is basically a Soul Sister style card. So whenever any creature, well actually this is just for us, whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. So chances are we're going to have a lot of creatures. If we have a token strategy, that gets a little bit better. And it's a 2 mana 2/2, bear, which is still fine stats. So that's something to think about. The Prowling Caracal is one of these cards which it's one of those where, I mean, it's got a lot of birds in it, but like, if you think people are getting like 1/1 spirits from things like Afterlife, for free, you can just block this basically. I mean, practically for free, if something dies, you just block that, no worries. Things like these white humans as well, you just very easily block this. So free ones in this format just don't feel that good. I don't know how I feel about Justicator's Portal. You got Watchful Giant and Night of Sorrows. So Night of Sorrows is a 5 mana 3/3, and when it can block 2 creatures, which is quite nice. I suppose. Although I've never really cared too much for it. I think if you can give it something like Death Touch, it gets really powerful. But that's not necessarily something that we can do. It also has Afterlife, so when it dies, you then gain a white and black spirit creature. And that goes well with Tasha, which is something to think about as well. Watchful Giant comes in. It's a 3/6 for 6. Quite expensive, but it's a good blocker. And it makes a 1/1 white creature token as well, which is not a bad way to do it. Although at that point in the game, it's one of those where, will it feel that great having a 1/1 creature? We've got one persistent petitioner, so we're really not going for that deck. Maybe one day. We've got a Fairy Duelist, which is the 2-mana flash flyer, which also is a combat trick as well. When it enters the battlefield, type creature opponent controls get -2/-0, so you can use it when your opponent thinks that they're going to have a good block, like a good trade-off. And then we're just like, actually, no. So we've got Quench as well. Counter target spell unless its controller plays 2. At the beginning of the game, very good. End of the game, gets a bit worse. We've got Shimmer of Possibility, which is sort of an impulse effect. For 2 mana, it's a sorcery. Look at the top 4 cards of your library, put one of them in your hand, and the rest in the bottom of your library in a random order. Sort of a slightly better version of Anticipate, although at sorcery speed, so, does it actually feel better at that point? You've also got Slime Blind, which is probably not a bad combat trick, although there's some better ones, like things like Arrester's Admonition, which is not a bad card. Bouncing a creature to hand is not a bad effect to have, and if you cast it in your main phase, you just replace it, so it's not for free, but it replaces itself, which is very nice. We've also got the Senate Courier, which is really nice. 3-mana 1/4 flyer is a good stat, and the fact that you can give it vigilance means that you can attack and keep blocking. And again, you're talking about all these 1/1 flyers. This will just keep them at bay. Thought Collapse is a counter spell, really. I mean, maybe milling your opponent in that regard might be important, but again, I'm not trying to play that mill deck. I keep on saying that. I'm just saying that there is really one. And then you've got Homunculus, which is a 2/5 hexproofer. Which is probably fine. I wouldn't say it's a good card or a great card. But I think if we had really good auras, it'd be possibly something to think about. But we'll see. Then there's Prying Eyes, draw 4 cards and discard 2. 6 mana, but it is at instant speed, which is pretty good. But it's again expensive. And then we move on to black, and we've got things like the Thirsting Shade, which is not a bad card, I think, really. I mean, a 1-mana 1/1 with lifelink is kind of aggressive, and then the fact that you can put mana into it to make it a little bit better is not too bad. Plague White's quite cool. It's sort of reminiscent of the Ornery Goblin in Guild Ravnica. When things block it, they get worse. This gives it -1/-1, so some things, like anything with 1 toughness, will just die. And anything, obviously, with just 1 power won't do anything to this. We've got Grotesque Demise, which is probably fine enough for removal. Exile target creature with power 3 or less. Noxious Grudian seems alright. I like things with Death Touch. You can attack with them. People probably don't block, or you can keep them back, and people don't necessarily want to attack in them because their best creature is going to die, or whichever creature they use is probably going to die. We've got Dead Revels, which is quite nice. Return 2 target creature card from your graveyard to your hand for 4 mana. But if you've dealt damage to your opponent, it doesn't cost 4 mana, it costs 2, which is really nice. Catacomb Crocodile, which has some great flavor text on it. It's 5 mana 3/7. There's the Debtor's Transport, which is 6 mana 5/3, but when it dies, you get 2 1/1 flyers. That's not too bad. Then you've got things like this Pharaoh Makala, which is just a bear, really. Scorchmark seems fine. It seems good against if you're running into a lot of Afterlife stuff. It's 2 mana. It does 2 damage to that creature, and if that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. So if it exiles, you don't get these death triggers. Burn Bright, sorry. If you've got a load of creatures, giving them +2, all your creatures +2/+0 is quite good. You've also got Burning Tree Vandal, which is quite nice. It's a looter. Well, is it a looter or a rummager? Basically, when it attacks, you can discard a card, and if you do, you draw a card, and it has Riot. So either you can have it as a 3/2 or a 2/1 with haste, depending on how the board looks. Rubble Reading's probably not what you want. Destroy target land Scry 2. I mean, maybe you just care about the Scry 2, but it's not for me. Spiral Acrobat is a 4 mana 5/2, which is quite an interesting set of stats. But it also has a spectacle cost, so for 3 mana a 5/2 feels better. But does it feel actually good? Now, this 5 mana 6/5 seems reasonable. Usually, for 6 power, you're looking at like stuff like 6 mana things. Now, it does attack each combat phase, but as a 6/5, you probably don't mind that happening too much. And then in green, you've got Sony Strength, which is put +1/+1 counter on attack creature control on tap, which is quite a nice combat trick. We also got Gift Strength, another combat trick, which is +3/+3 in reach. So offensively and defensively, it works well. Root Snare, which is just a it's a fog basically, prevent all combat damage dealt this turn. We've got Sorrowform Hybrid, which is fine. I actually think it's quite reasonable. It starts off as a 2/2 and ends up as a 6/6. Technically puts 8 mana in, but as a card that starts doing stuff on turn 2, it's not bad. Let's see, we've got Steeple Creeper, which is fine. We can put mana into it and just keep flying and hitting for 4 in the air is quite good. Just a creature, I wouldn't necessarily not play it. Mammoth Spider is quite reasonable. I think especially in this format, there's a lot of flyers. And then we've got the Rampaging Rendhorn, which is either a 5 mana 5/5 or a 5 mana 4/4 with haste. And I think that's not bad. And then into the multicolour cards for the Azorius colours, you've got a 4 mana 3/2 flyer, which scries and enters the battlefield. That seems to be quite reasonable. Final Payment, which can be quite a nice removal spell. You kind of want to. You could pay 5 life to one, which is kind of nicer than some of the other cards that are these style. But you can also just sacrifice a creature, especially something with Afterlife, and just destroy that creature, which is quite nice. Also instant speed, which is good. It means that you can also, like, say, set up a chump blocker and then kill another thing. You can also sacrifice an enchantment if you have one that's just not doing anything. We've got the Imperious Oligarch, which is a 2 mana 2/1 with Vigilance and Afterlife 1, which is quite reasonable. We've got the Vizkopa Vampire, which for an Orzhov mana, you get a 3/1 lifelinker. You've got Grasping Thralls, which are quite nice. 5 mana 3/3. Comes in, deals 2 damage to each opponent, and you get into life, which is quite good. You've also got the Rafter Demon, which is basically a 4 mana 4/2, but if you dealt damage, you can put an extra mana into it, and your opponent discards a card on the battlefield. We've got 2 get to the points. We've got 2 get to the points, which is really nice removal. Instant 5 mana destroy that creature. Kind of thing you expect in draft, but I mean not necessarily always being the instant, so that makes it quite good. And it has Scry one, which is nice. We've got a Gruul Locket, which is a way to help ram into big Gruul things, I suppose. Rubble Slinger is fine. A 2/3 with reach for 3 mana is quite reasonable, especially again we're talking about a lot of flyers. You've got Frenzied Arynx, which seems good. It has both Riot and Trample, which means that you can either have it as a 4/4 for 4 or a 4 mana 3/3 with haste, and you can pump mana into it as well. And giving it +3/+0 when it has Trample seems pretty reasonable. And then we've got Applied Biomancy, which is a combat trick, which can also return a target creature to one's hand. So yes, +1/+1 and turn or return that creature to one's hand. It's not bad. And then we've got these Guild Gates. See, I'm kind of interested to see what kind of Orzhov cards we have, because of course we have still in common mode. Let's go from there, because we have, where's she gone? Not the 5-blade artist, although maybe. We have Teysa Karlov, which could be quite cool. If we have a nice way to make... I suppose we'll have to see how many things actually have Afterlife. That's a good question. More of our biggest things. Let's see. But dies. Nope. It does not work how I thought it would. But that's fine. So that's a possibility, sort of that kind of plan. Although the fact that we've only got we would basically have to add in these cards to make Teysa do stuff. Although creature such have Vigilance and Lifelink is pretty good. I always forget about that bit of text, and a 2/4 for 4 isn't bad. What kind of things would we want to add to this deck? Possibly Gutter Bones. which would work alright with final payment. But that's about it, really. Plague Rite, as I said. Something like Grotesque Demise for an extra bit of removal. Dead Rebels. We could probably play the Senate Griffin, and I wouldn't mind. Now we could try adding in a third colour and add some like, just like say add a Rakdos Guildgate, and I'd like get to the point, and possibly the Fireblade Artist, and go that kind of thing. Nope, can't spell. Alas, that's the only thing that makes tokens. Yeah. So this kind of deck, we're looking for like, what, 10 more cards? We could just, and then if we go like this, and then just add in like a Rakdos Guildgate. Yeah, that could be fine. Let's type gate and see if there's anything else that cares about gates. Have we got a good gate deck? I don't necessarily think so. Like, this is fine, but like it doesn't really work with the colours that we have. So now I'm basically saying like I'd get to the points and then just look at like kind of creatures, maybe like Impassioned Orator. Spirit of the Spies is nice. It's a nice card. It's one of those where do we run like Warrant and actually also just go, you know what, 2 Azorius Guildgates and a Warrant. Probably don't even need the island, but we'll see how we feel. And then just add in maybe Carnival Carnage, but I'm not too sure if this deck really cares for it. No, I'll try it. Again, I think I'm going to have to change the mana up. And then maybe I do have to run like a Watchful Giant. Maybe just an Arrest Zeal. We've got what? 15 creatures, 8 non-creatures. It's not a bad mix. So that's one possibility. Let's have a look at how many adapt cards we have. We have 2 adapt cards. That doesn't seem like good. These are our spectacle cards. It doesn't necessarily feel like the greatest pool. I don't feel like Amplifier feels that great, so it's not something I want to necessarily build around. Generally, the idea is you want to look at your rares and build around them, and we kind of have. And then we went for like a pseudo gate thing with a gate class as well, which is quite reasonable. I mean, this could be a fine enough deck. I mean, when you're actually looking at what kind of playables you have, unless you want to go something that looks kind of controlling, and add in like quenches, similar possibilities. Not add, I mean keep, possibly run Eye of Nowhere. Got an extra counterspell on Thought Collapse. We've got things like Senate Courier, and of course the Warrant Arrest, and Senate Griffin, and a Dome Security. I actually think this is I think this is just what we're gonna run. Actually, not gonna run Rest Zeal. I'm gonna run Sky Tether. It's another removal spell. Enchant creature, well, pseudo removal. Enchant creature has Defender and loses flying, so especially if we've got a couple of flyers, which we do. Yeah. And then we got like the flyers that we get from Afterlife as well. Not that we have a particularly large amount of Afterlife targets, but what can you do? Yeah, I think I'll try this. I want to take out this island, and because I only want to be able to cast Warden, but not necessarily care too much. I think because I've got the 2 get the points, and I'm running the Carnival Carnage, 2 Mountain seems fine. I think what I want is just another white source. Yeah, Hopefully it's fine. I mean, having 3 Orzhov guild gates sort of tells you that Orzhov's probably where you want to be. And I think this is fine. I could run the Gutter Bones, but I just don't feel like it feels fantastic in sealed, but I don't know. Maybe I should try to squeeze it in. If I put it in, where would I think about taking out? I could just take out like a Watchful Giant, but I suppose again, sealed, the idea is it's slower, right? So a way to reorder your deck? I'm not too sure there is. Nothing I just don't really care for that much. I just don't know. I'll just go down a... No, I kind of need the nice Orzhov, don't I? Maybe I just don't need to get a bones. Maybe that's me being stupid, but... So that's our sort of... Oh yeah, and then there's the picture there, I don't like that. Let's put tape there. So that's our deck. Hopefully it'll be good. We might just scrub out and go for the all free dream. If we do, at least we get 200 gems, which is 10%, and 3 packs. So we'll get to open those. So yeah, that was the deck building part of the video, and now let's go on some games. Alright, we're going to take our sort of 4-ish colour deck, which is Mardu, with a tint of blue, from our sealed pool into some games. And yeah, let's see how we do. And, I mean, 2 lands and a lot of big things. I don't feel like this feels great. I might have to mulligan this. And then we get no lands. Well, I'm not feeling good. At least our opponent's mulliganing as well. Alright, well. I'll keep another land, sure. Well, this feels better than the other hands. Because we have like something that we can cast, and we do have something that's basically a removal spell. I'm just going to try to get out this... I'm just going to get out this Oligarch as quickly as possible. Go from there. So it's a 2-1 with Vigilance, and it has Afterlife 1 as well. So if it dies, not too bad. So let's, yeah, game for 2. Play the Rakdos Guildgate and say go. So we've drawn Carnival Carnage. If we don't have a land, we might just Carnage our opponent. Making our opponent discard 2 cards, especially very early on, is quite good. Especially when you think about how we did mulligan. That's annoying. That very easily blocks our Burby's Oligarch. And even if we Afterlife that. I mean, we could Sky Terror and then our 1/1 sort of do it, but that is annoying. Well, see what opponent's going to do. They're going to get in. They haven't given it Vigilance, which is good. Maybe Sky Terror isn't that great. I know, I think it is fine now, deck. Don't constantly second guess yourself. Although, when you finish the match, you can always think about changing your deck over. And then we get given Ill-Gotten. Then they cast Ill-Gotten Inheritance. I can't say that word. Which is an interesting enough card. Yeah, let's just run out Taser here. Get in for 2. So basically what this is going to do at the beginning of my opponent's upkeep, we're going to take a damage and they're going to gain a life. So now, this does one, in essence, we're sort of doing the same amount of damage to each other when you're just looking at these 2 creatures. Of course, I've now got my Taser, so that's not quite true. Our opponent's going to play a Plaza of Harmony, which can basically add 1 mana of any type that a gate you control could produce. And at the moment, that is the Orzhov Guildgate. So it's basically another Orzhov Guildgate. Let's... think about this. I could just Carnage. Deal 3 damage to my opponent and then discard some cards. I could Sky Terror so this doesn't attack me. I can't really kill anything. This attacking isn't that great because if you block here, I can't Carnival Carnage. If you block there, then I can, and I get like some flyers. But I think I'm just gonna do this and then just pass. Maybe I should be Carnaging, but so we take a damage. Opponent's gonna gain life. This now has Defender and doesn't have Flying, but it could still block our creatures. Maybe I should have attacked with Taser there, but they can double block. And that doesn't feel like great. Another land that we can get this Debtor's Transport. 5/3 is not bad. Ooh, Sphinx Foresight. That's a better target for... Well, this isn't going very well. We do have removal, which can deal with this creature and also this creature as well. We just have to find it. We also have something that will get rid of Ill-Gotten Inheritance. I'd kind of, you know, like to have Mortify in the deck, but you get what you get, I suppose, with Sealed. Alright. So we're going to take 4. Opponent's going to play... Oh, a Grasping Full. Yeah, we're more or less dead. It's going to take... Yeah, it's going to take more than just that. Well, let's just Carnage. Don't really have anything to leverage the other side of that card. Let's just deal a bit of damage to our opponent. I mean, we're going to go to... We just die here. Alright? So, we go to 8, and we take 3, 4, 8 damage in here. Simple as that. Huh. Yep, again. They blocked the Imperious Olga. We had a chance, but they didn't. They knew what they were doing. Alright, so that's game number 1. Hopefully that's not just going to be all we're doing this game. Or this sealed pull, with this sealed pull, we'll see. Alright, we're going to game number 2. We lost the first game. Just flyers. We're doing this too much and we drew some big stuff. Didn't quite have the mana for it. I didn't feel like we had a problem with colours, which is good when you're playing like a full-ish colour deck. And what can you do? I'm going to keep this. It doesn't really do much, but maybe I'm overly rating this Sky Terror. But we can cast Basilica Bellhorn, which is good. We've got our Taser as well, and got an Impassioned Orator for start off with. Just a 2. Basically, at the moment, think of it just as a bear. So our opponent looks like they're playing Teamer. Do they have something they want to use here, or are they just looking at the card? It looks like they're just looking at the card. So it could be something like Simic with some Gruul, and that's exactly what it looks like. That doesn't, yeah, it doesn't really matter too much. So we're just going to get him for 2 here. And pass turn. So our opponent has got the Gaia Engineer, which does ramp them a fair amount, you know. They have access to 5, possibly 6 mana this turn. They can start with a Biomancer's Familiar, which is a very good card. If you've got the right cards in your pool, which probably looks like you have. And then they're going to skewer the card, so they're just going to kill this. Alright, that seemed kind of weak actually. So we've got our Gate Colossus, which just costs less. Just not too much less at the moment. So we're going to go for a Basilica Bellhorn over playing out Taser at the moment. This is a 3/4, which is going to make our opponent lose a card, and they're going to take some. Oh, we gain 3 life. I thought it was they lose 3, but either way, still a life swing of 3. So they discarded Wilderness Reclamation, which is a really good card, especially if you're in like a Biomancer's deck, which has like really nice cards for targeting. Okay, they just play a generic 3/4, which is fine when, I mean, they've got, looks like they might have something else they can cast. But this makes this card just seem not particularly important. Well, let's play out Taser. I'm just gonna, have they got like a counter spell, like a quench here, or? Well, they might. Oh, well, that resolves. And we're just going to pass. There's no point in really attacking. A 3/4 and a 3/4, they can just bounce off each other forever. Or they might decide that they don't really need the Gyre Engineer anymore. And trade them off that way. Basically, it would be those two trading as well. They're going to attack. I'm going to say no blocks. Simply because the kind of deck where I expect them to have, or these colours are the kind of deck where I expect them to have a combat trick. I don't know what their last card is. So they're going to go and get a Gruul Guildgate. It's quite a nice card, though. Let's think about what we're going to do. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we play Guildgate now, it may make sense. This gets cheaper. We still can't cast it yet. We get to play the Impervious Oligarch. I mean, let's attack, see what happens. I'm going to attack with Taser because I actually like Taser's a card. Oh, that's going to untap. The X-Men Beast is going to untap. That's might actually be what's happening. I'm not too sure. I'm just like, oh, nope, they've got the thing that untaps, right? Oh, have they got like a fight mechanic or something? Nope, nothing. Alright, well, we'll just pass. Feeling pretty reasonable. I would have thought they'd have something, but... I kind of feel like this should have Afterlife, but... Yeah, just play out this Gate Colossus. Big old 8/8. We've got 2 more gates left in the deck as well. We've got another Azov Gate and a Rakdos. If it ends up in the graveyard, it's a way of us recurring it. But for the moment, I'm just going to say go. Yeah, Taser's second ability actually seems really good. So, Combine Guildmage is pretty powerful, but... Oh, and there's a Rakdos Guildgate, which, although I do have red cards, I don't have any red cards in hand. I'm going to attack with Gate Colossus, because even if they, like, say, trade 2 cards of it, I just play Rakdos Guildgate and then draw it. I don't want to attack with the Oligarch, because it just goes into that, and yeah, we get, like, 2 1/1s, but... I kind of want it to be at a point where my opponent blocks it and they feel like it's a trade, you know, like they have to trade if they want to block it, like when there's just these 2/2s. Okay, that seems sort of weird, but sure. I mean, it didn't really seem that weird. They basically just bounced it and they thought they might as well use both sides of it. But that's the trick they had. Then we just pass the turn. Doesn't put if I put a counter on, I'd rate applied Biomancy a lot higher. A lot higher. So they're gonna basically put this back in our hand and then draw a card and then play Steeple Creeper. They probably could have activated this, so then they put a counter on the Steeple Creeper, but yeah. And they scoop, possibly because. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Possibly because of that. Because they literally thought, oh, I should have done this. But they really should have kept playing that game. I'm not certain about how that would have went. But we didn't look like we were in a bad position. Anyway, so 1-1. Not too bad. Feeling a bit better about the deck now. And yeah, so let's go for game number 3. Alright, going into game number 3 with our Mardu Blue sealed deck. Splashing blue for the... rare blue split card. I'm very happy to just play it as a... Yeah, I'll keep this. I'm very happy to... Warren, there it is, Warden. I'm very happy to play it as like a double white card. Put a target attacking or blocking creature on top of its own library. But when you've got like a guild gate to be able to just, you know, Warden and get a 4/4 blue, white and blue Sphinx, Flying and Vigilance, why not? So we've got 3 of our colours, which is nice. We've got a Gate Colossus and a couple of gates, which means that this is probably going to come out at a reasonable time. Our opponent's going to start off with Open the Gates, which is good. They're going to look for a basic land or a gate card, reveal it and put it in their hands. I really think it's quite a nice card. And if it feels, especially we've got another Ravnica set to go, if we really, even what we've got now, we can sit down and have a think about. But if it feels like we can actually build a reasonable gates deck, Open the Gates is just really nice. Like a constructed, not just in sealed. But in sealed, it's a fantastic card. Someone's going to play Gateway Plaza. So they could be playing like 5 color nonsense. Play Rakdos Guildgate and just get in for 2. If they play something really powerful, we can final payment. And what's reasonable is that we can sacrifice our Imperious Oligarch and get a 1/1. Or we could just pay 5 life, which might be fine. Ooh, Ribbon the Wild. That's horrifying. Well, luckily we don't have counter spells, so that doesn't affect us in that regard. Oh, we can now play the Senate Griffin. So we have blue in the deck for this Warden, but like the Senate Griffin, we're basically seeing it as having 2 white in its mana. This is a 3/2 flyer which allows to scry when it enters the battlefield, and I think, do I want to keep Spirit of the Spires? Does make... Yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's fine to fly it. It's a 2/4, which makes this into a 3/3 as well, which is not bad. Yeah, they're playing like 5 color nonsense. Oh, this is Rye as well. Gonna make it 3/4. Warren is a card that we can do. Or we can just pay 5 life and kill this. Or we could add Spirit of the Spires. Just block this. Maybe I even just sacrifice the Imperious Oligarch. Let's pass. And have a think about what we want to do. I think definitely we want to do one of these. I feel like final payment's probably what we want to do. I kind of want to kill that though. Actually, do I care that much about... Yeah, that's final payment. Oh, I've done that wrong. Sacrifice a creature. Target creature. Sacrifice the Oligarch. Now this does have Riot as well, so they can just attack with a 4/4. But that's fine. Doing it this way also meant that, like, I'll go for the 5/5. Alright, I'm definitely fine with that. I'm down clown. I didn't really want them to draw a card, so we're just going to get him for 4 in the air. And then we're going to play a Grasping Thrall, which is, again, another flyer. Now our deck feels really good, like it's full of flyers. 3/3, and what's really nice as well is deal 2 damage, we gain 2 life. So even though you got this 5/5 here, which can deal a fair amount of damage, I don't feel that bad. Now I do have to worry about Riot, meaning that if they want to, they can just hastily hit into us. We've also got Warrant, which does mean that we can just, at a certain point, we keep our mana up and just put a creature back in hand. I wouldn't mind drawing a blue source, because actually casting it for Warden wouldn't be too bad. I also wouldn't mind getting another white source so I can cast Spirit of the Spires and keep this up. But as it stands, I think I'm feeling pretty reasonable. Yeah, no blocks. Oh, yeah, it's really good. So, play Spirit of Spires. And what's nice as well, this doesn't put it back in their hand. It puts cards back on top of their library. Yeah, that's fine. Like, we're still hitting for 4, which puts our opponent to lethal to our board. So if they can kill another one of our creatures or have a flyer, fair enough. But if not, we're pretty good. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this Gate Colossus is castable. Chances are, I mean, this has Adapt 4. Is that? I was like, oh, chances are it's gonna be no. They're gonna have Adapt 4. Okay, yeah, we just win, right? They really don't like. Yeah, this is fine. They really don't like haste, do they? Sure. Okay, this is a hold your butt kind of situation. Tech 9. Oh, and there we got there. Our opponent said good game prematurely. Maybe they were trying to think, oh, if we attack, we have to go for it. But we managed to do it. We kept an extra bit of removal in hand, and yeah, that's again. So on the power of flies, evasive threats are good. And yeah, so we're 2-1. I'm feeling pretty good. Yeah, let's keep going. Right, 2-1. 2-1 with it's not a 4-colour nonsense deck, but it's not exactly far off. It's basically an Orzhov deck at its core, and we added the red in for a few extra utility cards. That's the thing with sealed. Having like a nice 2-colour deck with good cohesive cards isn't always that possible, but adding in an extra colour, allowing us to basically add things like Get to the Point, Carnival and Carnage worked, and we were adding in another card, which we saw in the game previous, basically win us the game. Which, as far as we're concerned, I was happy to just play it and, pay 2 white for it. I didn't really care about the fact that it was blue or white. I'm going to keep this. But, because I had the Guild Gate, it made sense to keep. Oh, I think I just want to kill that, don't I? I could play. Yeah, I think I do. Like, that seems fine. Well, does it? Yeah, it does. Sure. We're just going to pass for the moment, though. So this is a pretty cool card. It's technically another Dre. Yeah, let's just kill it. Do a point of damage to my opponent. So basically, it's a 1-on flyer which has Adapt for 8, but that ability Adapt 4, but that ability costs less and less mana, basically. 1 less for each instant source in your graveyard, which is not bad. And then, of course, you end up with a 5/5 flyer. It's a bit better than a 1/1. Am I playing with blocks? No. So, no blocks. We could just trade there, but everyone's going to play an M. Ooh, Dead Rebels. So, let's attack for 2. Play the guild. Yeah, I could actually play that, but I'm not going to do that. So because that happened there, because how Spectacle works, we dealt damage to our opponent, so now we could pay 2 for that if we wanted to, but we don't have any Creates in the graveyard, so that wouldn't be worth it. So opponent's probably going to pump here. Oh, they're not. That's fine. And then they play a Senate Griffin. Okay. I could just final payment, get rid of probably the Aemonculus, because technically the card is the best, and just sacrifice the Plague White. Oh, do that again. So let's... I was kind of hoping they would just pump it, but... Would have liked a land there, actually, but what can you do? So let's play Taser. It's 2-4. This is fine. Get another land out and get to the point, which is quite nice. Dodge out creature, scry. 1. They're still a bit of mana away from being able to activate this Styrofoam Hybrid. Next turn, if you have a land drop on it, which is untapped, then you could do it. I'm going to play a Sylvan Bushrider. It's probably just going to attack for free in the air. Alright, that's not a bad creature. Still taking damage from the Senate Griffin. Our own Senate Griffin would be quite nice. Could have also just attacked with Taser there. They might not have blocked. But I think just low life total, we'll just wait. So now they can activate that, which is kind of annoying. Alright, I'm going to block here. They could just activate this. Fair enough, but it doesn't have trample. We basically stay at 11. Actually, what am I doing? Pass. The turn. So I think get to the point, get rid of the Styrofoam Hybrid. Do a bit of scrying. Again, we still have to find another way of dealing with this. And a way of dealing with Senate Griffin. That land definitely isn't it. 2, 3, 4, 5. I think, and they get another Senate Griffin. Ooh, we're not looking good. Huh? Very nice, Soros. I mean, might as well just attack. I don't really think they're going to block. Maybe they go, oh, let's double block. But I don't know why. They're at 19. Like, there's no reason to block Taser here. Rampaging Rendon. Ooh, I'm dead. Oh, I'm dead. Yeah, I shouldn't have attacked with Taser there. It's basically what we've learned. Ugh. Ugh. Well, 2 and 2. What could you do? 600 gems. Not bad. We've still got like another game, maybe. Maybe we can keep going. Maybe we just go full ham. We'll see. Alright, we're going game number 5. We're 2 and 2, so this is we need to win to stay in. Hopefully I could behave a little bit more. I think this is dangerous, but I'm going to keep it. This gains us some life and gets rid of a card from my opponent. Oh my goodness, my opponent is Sphinx of Foresighting it. So they're going to scry free. Ooh, that's really powerful. I mean, is it? Yeah. 2 on top, 1 on bottom. Yeah. And the order of those as well. Which really helps with your mana, especially if you've got like guild gates and such. Alright. So we got the choice of Basilica Bellhorn or Senate Griffin. Basilica Bellhorn arguably is the card that we should play because the more, well, getting a card is just getting a card. I suppose I'm being silly. But that's a 4/4 flyer. We don't really have a way of dealing with it, but we can Sky Tether it. which sort of deals with it. So they're going to get a Gateway Plaza. I think like on like silly colours as well. It feels like this Bellhorn should fly, but it doesn't. It also feels like it should have Afterlife, but it doesn't. It kind of feels like it's the weakest of the of this style of card, you know, with the two of the guild colours, like double guild colour sort of thing, you know, 2 white, 2 black, or in the case of others, like things like what's one of the best ones? I mean, the Golgari one, the Fine Broker, is really quite nice. Here's an example. Yeah, let's Bellhorn. Maybe I should send it. I know I should have sent it Griffin. Don't make stupid. Because this is a 4/4, and even if I tap it down, it blocks this very well. But my opponent has discarded a card. We gained a bit of life. Next turn, Guildgate. Sky Tether if they play the Sphinx. Yeah, because this wouldn't allow us to keep tapping. I don't know. We'll see what we draw as well. Opponent's thinking really hard about what card to discard. And they discard an island. Please mean that they don't have it. They only have untapped lands now. Maybe they're just going to do some weird to this Bellhorn. Oh, red mana. Oh my goodness. Yeah, just play Sphinx Foresight, why not? We draw an untapped land. Well, that makes it a bit easier. Sky Tether. That made a lot of weird noises. Senate Griffin. Do some scrying. Gear Colossus, yeah, it's good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No attacks. They do get to keep scrying though. So put even like this sitting on the board as a 4/4 defender is good. It blocks my Bellhorn, it blocks a lot of my other creatures, not all of them. And they get to scry each upkeep, which is a really powerful effect if you're going to go into the long game, which, as it stands, we probably are. We're just going to Scotch Mark by... Great. And Shimmer of Possibility, might as well just keep refilling your hand, look for good cards, possibly an answer to Sky Tether, or for whatever I'm going to be playing later on. It's exiled as well, so I can't even get it back from the graveyard. Curse you, Poseidon. Right. So we want to play Spirit of the Spires because it's a flyer. I'm going to play Azorius Guildgate, which means that next turn we can play the Gate Colossus, which is an 8/8, which is much harder to deal with and doesn't really care the fact that they've got a 4/4. God, I wish Night of Sorrow was like 4/3. Just be like, haha, trade and I get a 1/2. They've got a removal spell. They've got to fight. That's what they've got here, isn't it? Oh, no, they don't. They get to scry free and draw free. Why wouldn't you? That's really powerful. Precognitive perception. My opponent really likes scrying. I'd like scry tribal. So cool to see. Well, it's interesting to see. I say cool. It's interesting to see scry come out as a mechanic, especially because we had Surveil in the last set. But it is evergreen, so it does make sense. Is that worth it? I don't think it is actually. So I'm not going to do it. We're going to play. I'm going to play Night of Sorrows. No, Gate Colossus is just good. What am I talking about? Even if I had another Guild Gate, I don't think I'd play it there to keep like kind of a look. Because one, it doesn't really do anything when you've got a Gate Colossus on the battlefield, and two, like I don't care. Like I'm not gonna go, oh, I need to do 1 more damage than 8, you know. And two, I want to keep it in hand for if/when this dies, so then I can get it back and just keep playing it. Because we've got another what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guilds. So we've got another 3 guild gates left in the deck. I'm just going to play Incongruent. Oh my goodness. They exiled it! They exiled it! You monster! Incubation, incongruity. Incubation's quite reasonable. You can find a nice creature card, and incongruity which is quite good. It says exile. Normally, I would expect that to have been destroyed, but it says exile, exile type creature. We get a free, which is, you know, a thing. And we can, like, use Carnival to, you know, get past the Sphinx. If we get red mana, should I really be carnaging? I don't know. Opponent's really deep in the tank. I mean, they've seen a lot of cards, so it makes sense. They're going to go for Growth Spiral. They're going to draw a card and possibly put a land in play, which they do. And then they're going to pass. I'm getting another land. I mean, let's attack. So we let damage happen because flip it. I can't really do much else. And then we're going to Carnival. And then we'll play Night of Sorrows. We have a reasonable board, and my opponent doesn't have anything, but they have 6 cards in hand. 6 cards. Dear goodness, 6 cards. And a lot of mana as well. They play Gate Colossus. Yay! It's a really good card, that. So, removal spell? Oh, and it. Oh, that's not a removal spell. Well, it's not looking good now. I mean, did it ever? I mean, opponent's drawn like 6 more cards than us. And they've scryed a lot. Oh my goodness, I can do this. That's really good. You can just, like, I just don't want to take any damage. And they're like, do they pump it? And they kind of have to. But I still don't take all the 14. That's pretty decent. Yeah, Night of Sorrow. Seems better than I thought. I mean, he's still got these 2 creatures, and that was only for a turn. It's basically like a fog. But yeah, now I've got a 1-2. So, yeah. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, that game's Death Touch. Yeah, let's go for it. Attack for free. I'm baller. I've won there's like a lot of guild gates, so this doesn't really cost that much mana. Yeah, let's Warren. Put Gate Colossus, on top of their deck. Still take like 6 here, but whatever. So we still don't have red mana, which means that some of our removal spells don't do anything. Senate Curry is, I suppose, annoying, but it's actually not bad. It's like, this is a 1-2, so flip you. I mean, maybe they go, ha ha ha, block this, bounce this dies, and I'll be like, no. But I was looking like I was going to, I mean, I'm not really going to win. So you draw Plague, right, white, which is a chumper at this point. It's a little chumpy boy. See what my opponent does. Probably just blocks this and takes. Gosh darn it. They did what I basically said they would do. I hope they feel good about themselves. Yeah, I don't know what I could draw. Why doesn't this have Death Touch instead? This is not a great card. What am I talking about? This should have Death Touch. chump for a turn. Play Gate Colossus. Yeah, basically just dead. Well, that was the draft. Not draft, sorry, that was sealed. Which I don't really like that much. I don't know why I played it. But there you go. So yeah, we went 2 and 3. We got 600 gems and 3 packs. Which is not a great return. It's quite hard to really get your money back on that. Yeah, probably not gonna I'm not gonna do that anymore. I'll probably just go for the draft when it comes open. But you know, I mean, we saw some cards and there were some interesting ones. So there's a Mythic Rare Wild card, which I remember when I saw that was spoiled. I thought it was fantastic. No, so it's got things like Biogenic Upgrade, which is kind of cool. Growth Spiral's really good. It's kind of wouldn't mind getting to play at some point. Let's open up another pack. And we have another wild card. We've got things like Savage Smash, which in Limited's very good. Ill-Gotten Inheritance is just an odd card. I just don't know how I feel about it. Minister of Obligation is really nice in Limited. I mean, maybe has the ability to come back, to come into Constructed, but I'm not too sure. I think there's probably some better cards. We get a Blood Crypt. It's not a bad thing to open. Got to get those lands. And pack number 3. We've got Night of the Last Breath, which is a way to sacrifice creatures, which is not a bad thing in Orzhov, and it makes spirit tokens, which is kind of why you'd want to sacrifice stuff as well generally in this. And it also has Afterlife itself. It's a big thing though, and for a 4/4, I do wonder. Sphinx's Insight actually seems pretty reasonable. Draw 2 cards, and if you do it in your main phase, you gain 2 life, which is quite nice in one of your own, sorry. Clear the Mind, nah, not really what I'm thinking about. I think this is a good card. 2 mana 1/2 Death Touch with Afterlife, so yeah. Don't really rate that highly, and we'll see what the raise. Oh, Domri. No, fair enough.
It's just another day.
Get a Planeswalker, can't complain. So Domri Chaosbringer. Add green or I can't say words today. Add a green mana or red mana. If that mana is spent on creature spell, it gains Riot. That's +1. -3 is look at the top 4 cards of your library. You reveal up to 2 creature cards among them and put them in your hand. Put the rest of the bottom of your library in random order. That's really nice. You're only looking at 4, so how often you hit 2, I'm not really certain. I mean, obviously it depends on the deck, but probably not that high. And -8, you get an emblem with at the beginning of each end step. Create a 4/4 red and green beast. Creature token trample. Not bad at all. And when you compare, when you put in. There's a few extra bits of pieces that make it look better. Yeah, that seems pretty decent. Could be pretty good. I mean, probably more the +1 ability. I mean, a +1 ability, -3 ability is good. I mean, the emblem, if you can get it, is nice. It's beginning of each end step as well, so it's not your own. It's your opponent. It's not just your own. It's your opponent. So that is actually a lot. Now that I think about it, but yeah, that's pretty reasonable. Let's see. So. Pretty sure that's how you spell allegiance. No, it isn't. Wait, how do you spell allegiance? Well, it's a good job I know how to spell, isn't it? But play allegiance is a code that I believe gives you 3 packs. So if you haven't used that code already, do so. Open up Arena, put play allegiance in, get 3 packs. Might as well open up 3 more. We didn't exactly do 2 on the sealed pool, so I might as well open a few more things, feel a bit better. That's a weird card. I think it could actually be fine. A 2/5 blocker, which it can actually also finish the game by just attacking in like a very slow deck, and in those colours you probably could build a nice the kind of deck that can do that. This is in this like pseudo mill stuff, and maybe I should look and see if you really can mill. Sphinx of Foresight. I mean, we saw how good it was. I mean, a 4 mana 4/4 flyer is reasonable. Like, no, it's not reasonable. Sorry, it's good. At the beginning of your upkeep, Scry 1 is also a good thing to have on a creature. Just static, keep on making everything better. But also the fact that if it's in your opening hand, you know, you're not going to cast it straight away, although turn 4 isn't too far away with Growth Spiral, turn 3. You can reveal it and then Scry 3. Like, that's just good. Could be very good and constructed. Definitely seems good in Limited. As long as you're in those colours heavily. It's double blue, so you've got to be a little bit careful. This card I don't really think is going to see any play in Constructed because of the fact that other Drakes just outperform this by significant amounts. Could be alright. Well, the Panther is fine. I'm really surprised my opponent didn't keep attacking with it, but because they weren't pressure, like we couldn't really pressure our life total, their life total. Kaya's Ravnica. This is a card that I'm quite interested in, being a control player. It is a 4-mana Wrath, which is really nice. Destroy all creatures. You gain life equal to the number of creatures you've controlled that were destroyed this way. So it's not just good for it's good for people who play creatures and don't mind at a certain point you got to Wrath the board because your opponent's got some better stuff. You gain some life when you do so, but it's tough to cast being 2 white and 2 black, but having like all the shocks now probably means that it's possible. And then final pack. Senate Guild Gates Mage seems good. I mean, for 1 mana you loot. Draw a card and discard a card is really powerful. And even gain the lives quite good, and it's a 2-mana creature. Civic Stowel, if you've got enough creatures, is just pretty much a bomb. You play a creature, you play a 3/3, and you sort of anthem the team for the turn. Seems pretty good. Again, this mill deck, I've really got to look at this. And Gutter Bones. Maybe I should have played my Gutter Bones. Maybe I would have been a bit more aggressive. I don't know. It's a really interesting card. Cards that you can get back from the graveyard, keep playing, especially if you've got a way to like sacrifice it for value, for example, can be really good. It's odd that this isn't a zombie. It's a skeleton warrior, but what can you do? Now it does work with let's see. Zombie. It does work with Death Baron because it does say skeletons you control and other zombies you control. So would actually kind of work in a Death Baron deck. Not that I'm necessarily saying that's what should happen. But anyway, thanks again for watching. Didn't do as well as I would have liked, but what can you do? I've been Afrothos, and I'll catch you next time.